they had her service. They had her service on this week, and so if you could have your thoughts, please. Okay, we will not be able to have the approval of the minutes because we don't have a quorum there.
And so we will start with the first report, which will be my report at this time. Good afternoon. I'm Joanne Harris, Vice Chair of the Library Board of Trustees. Jaspreet Kaur, the chairperson, is not able to join us today. So I want to tell you a little bit about some of the activities that I did for this, well, from the past board meeting to now. Okay, on Monday, I did attend Molly Pruitt's namesake of the Pruitt Library, Public Library at Roosevelt, which is in District 2. I did attend her service, and I was so happy to meet her family and so happy to see some of the staff from the Pruitt Library that attended. I attended the Central 30th anniversary, which it was just marvelous. That's all I could say. It was just something that was so outstanding and just wonderful. And I know all the others have their ideas of what they're going to say about it. I attended the annual Preservation Day, which was the African American labor in San Antonio and Black Seminoles, which was at the Carver Library. And I was just so happy that there were 5 of us that were there from that originated from Del Rio, Bracketville. And so that Seminole Indian items was what we were interested in. I also attended the African American Book Festival, and I attended the Women Along the Underground Railroad. All of these things were tied into the 19th of June celebration. They all happen at the Carver Library. I attended the Friends of the Schaefer Library bi-monthly meeting, and I did complete my essay speak-up survey because I was not able to attend those meetings that they had. They had one yesterday and one today in my district, and it was from 1 to 8. I couldn't attend. Some of the upcoming things that I'm excited about, especially at the Carver Library, on this Saturday, they're going to have a college-bound student send-off. And this is primarily for any student in the city of San Antonio that will be attending a HBCU, which is a historical black college or university. And they're going to send them off with a celebration. They have alumni that will be attending also to help them, to give them some insight. And on July the 12th, they're going to have an art exhibit of John Coleman at the Carver Library. They're going to have that going on. And then the summer reading program, they talked about how well that is going, and they're going to have a speaker there about the things that are going on with their summer program. And he's going to present one of his books, but I'm sorry, it escapes me exactly who that is. Okay, we'll have the other trustees if you want to share some of what you've attended this month.
Okay. Hello, everyone. I did go to the Bazan Library to help the friends with counting some money on a book sale they had, so I went and helped them. On June 11th, we had a facilities committee meeting that I attended. On June 14th, Encino Library had their 10th anniversary, and it was wonderful, and the first time I had been there, and it's a beautiful library, wow. That was great. And then on May 31st, of course, Central had their 10-year anniversary, and that was wonderful. David was there, and all the superstars from San Antonio were there, Ms. Ron Nuremberg and Eric Walsh and Henry Cisneros. It was a nice celebration. And then I went to visit the Latino Collection and Resource Center while I was here for the Central Library anniversary. Thank you.
I also attended the Facilities Committee meeting and the Central Library 30th anniversary, and I would like to congratulate the staff on that. It was an outstanding celebration, and I was glad to see that there was quite a bit of media here, so we got a lot of coverage on that.
I also attended the Central Library celebration, and I was able to catch the tail end of the Encino, but even though I didn't get to hear all the remarks, which I heard were amazing, I did get to walk around with my best friend, who I actually took with me to the opening of Encino, and so it was fun to see all the new things that had been added since, you know, she had been there 10 years ago. She doesn't go out of her way to go to Encino. Johnston is her home. So it was really nice for us to walk around and say, oh my God, look, this is here now, this is here now. And it was really exciting. And I was also able to visit Macrelis and Mission. And I did not realize that not only does Mission have a library for books, but also a library for seeds. So working in education, you know, you collect things, and I actually have a collection of seeds that I'm going to go donate the next time I go to Mission to add to their seed library.
Yes, my name is Michelle Dalbas Robledo. This month was a fairly active month for me in a lot of other ways, but I was able to visit the SEMS Library and Memorial Library. The SEMS Library is outstanding. It's just such a pretty library, and they're having a lot of work done outside. I made the suggestion of possibly making it a tube event rather than a patio because it was really hot there. It was very hot walking around out there, but they've got a beautiful walkway, and if you haven't been out there, make sure to go visit it. I also went to Forest Hills and had a wonderful meeting with Sukrit. Sukrit and I discussed a lot of things about the direction of where we want to go as a whole, where he wants to take us, but mostly I was impressed with the fact that he wants direction from all of us and input from all of us, which is more leader-like than most people get the opportunity to see. So I was impressed with that. And I am very sad because my library is closed. Maury Maverick is closed for the next 3 to 4 months, but I will live. That's it. That is it.
Thank you so much. I'm sorry that I did overlook one of my beautiful notes that the staff has left for me, that today's meeting is being live streamed, so I skipped that. So I want to make sure you know. So now we'll have a report from the Director, Sukrit.
Thank you. Thank you, Joanne, and welcome everyone. So I will start with the celebration we had for our 30th anniversary here at Central. It was such a beautiful day. A lot of you were present that day. The day was full of lots and lots of programs, from teen departments to children to adult. Every floor had something going on, and people were happy, people were joyous. We had our former Mayor Ron Nierenberg, City Manager Eric Walsh, Honorable Henry Cisneros, and our board chair, Jaspreet Kaur. They all joined me in providing remarks at this event. It was a beautiful event, and I was so impressed. I actually brought my brother here to take a look, and he was impressed with our escalators. And then on June 14th, we celebrated Encino Branch's 10th anniversary celebration. Again, our board chair, Jaspreet Kaur, joined me in providing some remarks, and our assistant city manager, David McCary, entertained the audience with his remarks and live exercise. And he also gave each of us an assignment, which was writing a letter to ourselves that we will open in a year. It was to create goals that we would like to see achieve in a year. So this was fantastic. I learned something from that presentation and from your speech. So I really am thankful and grateful that you were able to attend, David. Thank you. And also, I would like to highlight a program here at Central we had on May 17th. We hosted our first tween prom. This program was strictly for children aged 9 to 12 years of age. And it was also, the way I understand, this was also their own planning. That's what they wanted to do. And then, of course, our wonderful staff made that happen. So nearly 100 tweens were here. They danced, they ate, they made new friends, and their parents were further able to build community in the Central Library foyer by playing games and conversations they were having while their children were attending this prom celebration. Now, of course, special thanks to our coordinator of library services for adults, Morgan Yoshimura. She's here. Thank you, Morgan. And also our librarian, Ashley Palacios. I'm so sorry for pronouncing her last name wrong, and I actually practiced it, for leading the planning committee for this event. So kudos to both of you. Kudos to our SAPL team for making this program such a success. And now thank you to Lily Trevino for her interim role as a PSA. So we all appreciated her services very much. So today we gave her the farewell. So now because our PSA is back to take her position, so Lily has been retired from this interim position. But she has a lot to do. She has a lot in her plate. And also, as Joanne mentioned, Pruitt Library staff created a memorial for Molly Pruitt at the library location. Our staff also created a beautiful photo album, which was shown at her service, and which was also very much appreciated by the Pruitt family. Now, for our 2026 budget development process, we continue to coordinate with the budget office to prepare for next year's budget. We will continue to update the budget committee as we have more information of the progress. City Council has their goal-setting meeting this Friday. We will share with you the library-related outcomes with the board as part of our weekly board report. We also just received the results of statistically valid surveys that the city conducted. We'll be sharing the high-level summary with the board next week. And lastly, thank you, David, for being here and for your unconditional support to the library.
Thank you for your report. So we have a quorum at the present time, so we will have a roll call. Mr. Edwards, if you would do a roll call. Thank you.
Today is June 25th, 2025. The time is 4:47. Carla Gugiolo is absent. Josie Martinez is absent. Andrea Sanchez Muniz.
Here.
Marianne Valdez Hernandez.
Here.
Fernanda Cardenas.
Here.
Michelle Dalbis Robledo.
Here.
Spreet Kaur is absent. Marcy Ince is absent. Beth Graham.
Here.
Judy Cruz is absent. Joanne Harris.
Here.
Presiding Officer, we have a quorum.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Okay. Now we will go over the minutes. The minutes were emailed to us out on about Friday. If you've had time to go over them, I would like to have a motion, please.
I'll motion to approve the minutes.
Second.
The minutes for, excuse me, okay.
I motion to approve the minutes for the May 28th, 2025 meeting of the San Antonio Public Library Board of Trustees.
Second.
Thank you. So the minutes have been approved for May 28th, 2025 Board of Trustees meeting. So the next item on our list will be,
Madam Chair, excuse me, we need to take a vote on the minutes. I'm sorry.
thank you, thank you, thank you. Go, Edward.
Carla Guglielmo is absent. Josie Martinez is absent. Andrea Sanchez Muniz,
Aye.
Marianne Valdez Hernandez,
Aye.
Fernanda Cardenas, Michelle Dalbas Robledo,
Aye.
Jaspreet Kaur is absent. Marcy Inks is absent. Beth Graham,
Aye.
Judy Cruz is absent, and Joanne Harris.
Aye,
The motion passes.
thank you very much. Okay, the next thing on the item, it will be that we will have a budget report for May of 2025 by Gabriella.
I'm just going to provide you with a brief overview of the May's budget reports in your packet on the green sheets. I see you're already turning there. As of the end of May, 67% of our fiscal year had elapsed, and we were at 67% spent, including encumbrances, or 65% without them. So just as last month, we're still on track with spending this fiscal year. As I reported last month, the mid-year adjustment that was approved by council in May is reflected in the revised budget column of this report. The effect of that ordinance adjustment was a reduction to our budget of approximately $246,000. This reduction will not hinder our ability to provide any services this fiscal year and is mainly due to personnel savings from vacant positions for the first part of the year, and also a reduction in overtime due to the 2024 Fair Labor and Standards Act overtime rule not being passed. That was really my report for this month. So if you guys have any further questions or want to know about anything specifically, I could take that now.
Thank you.
Welcome, thank you.
The next item is a report from the Executive Committee. We did have a meeting, and that was on June the 17th, and we set the agenda for this board meeting. Thank you. The next item is a report from the Advocacy Committee, and they did not meet. And next is a report from the Budget Committee, and we did not meet. The next item is a report from the Facilities Committee. Andrea.
Have a few updates and some agenda items.
Hello, trustees. Good afternoon, everyone. Yes, we've got a few items that we went over. We do have the construction report is in the board packet. You'll notice this month, we did make a slight change at the top of the report. We added a current project portfolio amount, so we have a total number of how much dollar amount of the projects we're working on, the active projects we have going on. So we'll be updating that every month as we move forward.
Excuse me, Mark, I'm sorry, you didn't introduce yourself for the live stream. Some people might not know you.
I'm sorry. My name is Mark Loisel, and I'm the project control manager for the library. And I'm here to give the facilities report for the board report. So we do have a few updates for the project updates. We've got the, let's see which one is going to work here. That one. There we go. So the first item that we'll report on is the Las Palmas Branch Library, which is an active bond project. It is a $6.7 million project under construction. It's about 65% complete. We've got a couple photos. Well, the schedule first, we're looking at it. The branch closed back on March 20th, 2023 for the Phase 1 construction work, and Phase 2 construction started in September of 24, and we're currently ongoing to finish the construction project itself sometime in September of this year, it looks like, and then we'll be doing our post-construction move-in with the anticipated reopening in November or December of this year. We will be using the new digital monument sign to advertise the reopening to the public. And speaking of the digital monument sign, here is a picture of it. We showed a picture of it at the last month's meeting, but we did not have the Metro sign insert in there, so we wanted you all to see the full picture. So this will be what it looks like once we reopen, and then we'll have the marquee operating in full operation before we open as we promote the reopening date. Here's a couple of structural pictures. You can see in the front of the building, they're shoring up the roof. The blue steel was the original steel that was that original canopy, and they've added all the red steel above along with the roof canopy. So they're moving along with construction pretty well now that the weather's cleared up a little bit. Next project is Texana Resource. That's another project going along up on the 6th floor here at Central Library. It's a $5.2 million project. It's currently at about 60% complete. Got a couple of progress photos here. They've got some of the storefront walls in for the Collaborate room, which is going to be where people can get together and discuss projects and whatnot with video screens. And then we have on the right screen, we've got the reading room with a storefront glass, so people will be able to go in there and they'll be able to take materials from the vault, take them into the reading room and read them and look through them, and that'll be very secure. And then we also have photos of the new high-density shelving that's been installed in the vault. We had our Texana director up there looking at it, and they're very, very pleased with this shelving. It's going to add a lot of storage space and convenience to staff to move materials in and out of the building. The last project to give you an update on is the Maverick project, as mentioned earlier. We closed that back on June 9th for a $986,000 HVAC project. We're moving along. We have biweekly meetings on that to keep up with the schedule. We are looking at a reopening late September, and that's what we're pushing for. We'll keep you all updated as that moves forward. So, any questions on any of those or any other projects going on in any of your districts? Yes. Mm-hmm.
And you might not be the right person to ask, what are we doing for Maverick in terms of summer reading and that kind of thing? Are we offering any alternative locations?
I would not be the best to ask that, no, or to answer that, no. But we are working, we're trying to get an interim site located,
So our plan is to have an interim location that's not too far away. There aren't very many public buildings anywhere near Maverick. We looked at a number that do exist, like the Bexar County Commissioner building there, but you couldn't cram this podium in there. So we have a lead. I'm not trying to be mysterious, but, right? But we still just have a lead. As soon as we have something more than that, we will inform you that very day.
Thank you, Dale. Any other questions I can't answer? Thank you all.
Thank you, Mark. Okay, the next item is a report from the naming committee, and they did not meet this period. And then a report from the Ad hoc Board Policy Committee. Fernanda? I don't think y'all met this month. Okay. Yeah, you did not meet. Okay. Next is a report from the Ad hoc ILA Committee, and the committee did meet. We met on June the 17th. And one of the items that they brought up that on July the 9th, that they do have a meeting with the county. So we're very pleased with that. Thank you. Okay, the next report will be from the San Antonio Public Library Foundation. Amy.
Amy Hone, the Executive Director of the Library Foundation. We are full speed ahead with Katrina Ball, so our sponsor packets went out. You all know that we had a venue change, so things were a little bit stalled there. That's the theme of 2025, is late starts, but we're moving now. We have a little bit more limited space in the new location with the Ralston at the zoo, which is going to be a fabulous location, but about half our tables are already sold. So if you know anyone or you want to purchase a table, it's in your best interest to do so as quickly as possible, because we are going to fill up fairly quickly. They are not guaranteeing us gorillas. I don't know if any of you have seen the, and it's on the Foundation's Facebook page, but if you've seen the representation and the little fly-through, the AI fly-through of the space, there is on the patio right outside the big venue room is a peek of the gorilla habitat. They're getting new gorillas at the zoo. And so there's a chance that you could be standing at our silent auction table at Katrina Ball, and on the other side of the glass could be a gorilla that has climbed up the tree and into that space. So they are not guaranteeing us gorillas for our event, because we will be one of the very, very first events there, but we will still be able to see the new habitat, and it should be a really unique event. Everything else will be largely the same. We have the same types of entertainment and all of that. The one big change logistically is we are going to do a plated dinner, still not the sit down and listen to speeches gala of old. We still want to keep that same flavor of Katrina Ball, which is the street festival flavor. But so there will be some wandering around, but not as much wandering around, obviously, as when we were in this building. So there will be a plated dinner, which is something that's completely new for us for that event. We have also started reaching out to potential donors for Carver, and we've had some preliminary meetings. We're reaching out to individuals, corporations, foundations. Obviously, we don't have all of the naming opportunities finalized with y'all's process yet, but we have made initial contacts, because that sort of fundraising, as I'm sure you know, takes a lot longer than we really want to. So sometimes lead time on those six-figure gifts can be a year, so we really want to start making contact with people as far in advance as we can. I was sorry to miss the Central anniversary. I do take a trip at the end of May every year, and so I was out of town. But thanks for doing it on my birthday. So, but yeah, I was out of town for that, so I was very sorry to miss that, since the foundation was formed to raise that money to build Central Library. That was the whole reason that we were formed. And then the foundation offices are fully open again. We did have about 3 weeks where everyone was working from home. We had a pretty major flea infestation, which was not fun for anyone. We are totally fine now. We have gotten rid of all our carpeting and upholstered chairs and things. But we've had a bit of a struggle in the last 30 days, but we're back on track. Again, 2025 is the year of we're a little bit stalled, but now we're moving. Does anybody have any questions? Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you, Amy. Okay, the next report that we will have will be from the Friends of the San Antonio Public Library, Liz Alvarez Press.
Good afternoon, Madam Chair, trustees, and library director. Amy, the party was fantastic. Thank you. We all enjoyed it for you, so it was great. Yeah. June is starting off a blast. It is, the branch libraries with summer with SAPL is great. When I go and visit these libraries when this is going on, I wish you could see the smiles on all the faces of the toddlers, the children, teens, and adults. This is the best summer, I think, ever for this. The staff at the Pan American Library had their summer kickoff on June 5th, and I was there, and I was talking about joining the Friends. As you know, they don't have a Friends group there. So I was out there talking about it and asking them if they'd have an interest to join and how it's one of the best organizations. And it was just amazing how many people came from your other branch libraries, which I was really impressed. And one lady brought her children from Helotes, Texas, because she had seen the advertisements about this. So I thought that was really well. I did encourage her to join a friends group close to her area, though. The petting zoo was enjoyed by everyone. I did not make it out to the petting zoo, which is unusual. But anyway, once the children were inside the library, you could tell it was their first time to come. And they were absolutely just, wow, where can we go? So that was great to see. And then it was such an enjoyable event. I did attend the 10th annual Encino anniversary, and that was a great party too. It was fun. There were so many things for everybody to do, no matter what your age was. And also they had a Smarty there and the Disney characters. And of course, I had to have my picture taken with them. And as my granddaughter always tells me, Grandma, you're too old for that. Anyway, I'm still a kid at heart. Friends is picking up starting July 1st. The committees of the Friends Board of Directors, such as finance, bylaws, etc., those meetings are starting to take place, and I'm in hopes we're going to be completed by October 1 on getting all of those committees up to date and ready to present. Also, the library branches will begin working on their budget for 2026. And when I go to the branches to meet, I am encouraging them to take part in the city budgets and talk to their councilmen and go and come forth and let them know we need to keep our libraries going. That's very important to me. The bookseller and Friends has two things in common. They need volunteers, and we need members. So it's a good little connection there. So the book donations are just coming in like crazy, and there are so many of them that on July 25th and 26th, the bookseller will be hosting a back-to-school book sale. The location will be here at Central Library in this room. So I hope y'all can come out. I know how busy everyone is, so I'm hoping that you can come out and you never have time to get that book. You'll find it here, plus pick up some extra ones. Just a reminder on some other important things that are going on for the Friends. On Saturday, June 28th, at the Fantastic Sims Library, they're having a plant swap. I think that's going to be great. And on Sunday, July 27th will be the next Friends Board meetings. Hope y'all can come out. And Sunday, again, November 16th, will be the Arts and Letters Awards at Mission Branch Library at 2 o'clock. Any questions? Thank you all so much.
Thank you very much. Okay, the next item is a review and consideration of the final design plan for the Carver Branch Library from the 2022 bond project. And, okay.
Good evening, Vice Chair Harris and the board. My name is Kathy Donnellan. I'm the Assistant Library Director for Support Services. We're very excited to have for you tonight for your consideration the final design for the Carver Branch Library Phase 1 project as part of the 2022 bond. And before I give you a brief introduction, I'd like to introduce our external partners from Alta Architects, Victor Carrillo and Jeff Edwards. And Jeff will be up in a moment to present the design to you. We also have from our Public Works Department of the City of San Antonio, Evelyn Gomez, who's the project manager for this project. So just to give a brief overview, this is the same presentation and information we presented at the last Facilities Committee meeting, and the Facilities Committee did endorse this to bring forward to the board for consideration tonight. Again, this is a 2022-2027 library bond project. The total project budget for the renovation and expansion for Phase 1 is $12.5 million, but there's also $300,000 in public art funding. So there will be public art as part of this project that will run alongside the bond project for community input, et cetera. The scope of the project is major renovation of the almost 12,000 square foot existing library space, reconfiguration, the addition of some new functional areas, as well as an expansion. And Jeff will share the details of those improvements in the design presentation. So tonight is a big milestone, which is consideration and I hope approval of the final design for the project. The only piece that isn't included in the design presentation tonight from Phase 1 is the monument sign. That is still a part of Phase 1, but it'll come to the board at a future date. We're still working through some details on that design. So with that exception, everything else for Phase 1 is part of this presentation tonight. So on June 11th was when the Facilities Committee considered this and moved it forward to the board, and then that brings us to tonight for your consideration. So with that, I will turn it over to Jeff Edwards for the design presentation.
Hey there. It's good to see everybody again. I know y'all have seen me fairly recently, but we're going to present this one more time. We're super excited about this. My name's Jeff Edwards with, with Alta Architects. We're working on the design of the Carver Library, and we're actually almost at completion of the drawings to where we will submit the drawings for permitting and give them to the contractor for final pricing if you all give us the okay to move forward. So I think we've talked about this before. The existing building is the element that's there surrounded by the red dashed line, if y'all can see that. And I've got a little pointer here, I can kind of go around. So that's the existing building, about 11,800 square feet. And then we're adding about 2,600 square feet with a new lobby and a new community meeting room there to the north. You've got Commerce Street over here, Honey Street here. And one of the challenges of the project, you've got a lot of existing conditions that we really knew we needed to work around. We didn't want to lose any parking spaces because parking is limited over there. So we've kept all of that. There's some big, beautiful existing trees in the courtyard right here, and we knew we wanted to keep those, so we worked around that. There's a recently updated playground area here. We wanted to keep that. So the expansion is growing here to the north, and I think that's going to be great. One thing I will point out, Ms. Harris, is that we've added some additional, per our last meeting, added some additional handicap parking spaces there in the front. And so those will be part of the plans as they get submitted to the city. And one other thing I will point out on the site plan right here, the location, the proposed location of the monument sign, which is right there prominently on the corner of Commerce and Honey.
I was going to ask you
Yes,
about
ma'am.
the handicap. It cannot be one on the other side. I know you added it Is it something about
Well,
the
it is possible.
sidewalk or
So
something?
let me explain one thing. We're trying to do it economically, first of all. We've got some ramps that actually will create a flush curb where the handicap parking is, so that if you park your car, you can roll directly onto the sidewalk if you're in a wheelchair. And so what we're thinking we would do is limit those ramps only to the one side and just extend it a little bit further. I mean, it is possible that it could be done another way. We thought that would be, the kind of cleanest and simplest and most economical way to do it, and because we're still getting the same number of parking spaces, but we're open to your thoughts on that. If it's okay with everybody, I'm going to keep moving forward. They always try and limit me to 10 minutes, and when I get excited about a project like this, it's hard to do that for me. Here we go. Okay, so I'm zooming in on the plan real quickly here. So this is the plan. Again, in the red dashed line is the existing building. It's important to note that that's going to be completely renovated. All of the building systems, like the air conditioning systems and electrical and the lighting, all brand new, right? All of the AV systems will be brand new. We're putting a new roof on it, so it's really going to be like a brand new building. We're completely renovating it. And then right off to the side over here, we've got the 2,600 square foot addition with a new lobby. One of the things that we pointed out the last time we talked is that we've moved the existing lobby from the north, which is towards Commerce, down so that it will be closer to the parking spaces to make it easier for people who have accessibility issues to get right into the building with this new entry right there. Real quickly, just to walk everybody through, we've got the main entrance right here into the lobby in yellow. You go to the right and you go into the brand new community center space. You go to the left and you enter into the library. And so you enter into the big reading room, again, originally designed by Norcell Haywood. And one of the things that we're really trying to do with this project is respect the beautiful design of one of San Antonio's really most premier and first African-American architects. Super, super famous, worked with O'Neill Ford, so we're definitely trying to do that. You walk right in, you've got the welcome desk right in front of you. Immediately behind that is the technical services area in red, so that's been enlarged and expanded to make a much better workspace for DL and his team back there. Up from there, there's a little storage. I'm going to kind of work around clockwise here. We've got a new teens area here. There's a great African American resource center in the library here in this area, which I think is going to be really exciting for us. We've reconfigured, the bathrooms were always in this location, but we've reconfigured them so that they're all single user restrooms now, like the libraries are moving towards. And I think that was a big plus for everybody. We've got the existing multi-purpose space, which is still here. We've added some storage here so that all of those desks in that multi-purpose space are completely reconfigurable, so you can move those around and set up the room in different ways. And the furniture can be stored in here. We've got a new tech center right here, which is going to be fun, where we can people can do podcasts and other kinds of broadcasting things. I think that's going to be a new feature for the library. I'm really excited to see that come to fruition. Then we've got the Learn Center immediately adjacent to that, and the Learn Center's enclosed with a glass wall, and then adjacent to the Learn Center is the children's area and a new area, the tween area, in this kind of long orangey room here. One of the things I'll point out is that there's glass on the Learn Center and glass on the children's and tweens. So if a parent is in that Learn Center working on a resume or something, they'll be able to see directly across and monitor their children in the in the tween and children's area. And then that brings us back down toward the entrance of the building. We've added 2 new restrooms here specifically for the new community center, and one of them has an adult changing station, so they're fully usable by all the members of our community. And the neat thing about this configuration is it allows the community center and the library to operate at different times. So if one wants to be closed down, the other can still function. And we've got a series of doors there that allow for that. I think that's going to be a really great new feature in the building. And so I'm going to keep moving because, again, I know my time is limited. So this is as if you're walking right into the lobby area. And I know on this rendering, it looks a little bit blank right back here, but we had some ideas in there and we took them out because we're excited to be working with PASA on a public art project for this wall, which might actually come around to these side walls as well. And so right when you walk in, we're going to have this great, fantastic public mural piece that'll be right there on the entry wall and kind of be an overwhelming, hopefully exciting feature of the new building. And so here you see that choice, right? You can go to the right and go into the community room, or you can go to the left and go into the library. So you've got that neat control point there that allows you to use these two parts of the building at different times. So from here, we're going to turn left and go into the library. And so this is coming right in through those glass doors at the library, and you're looking directly back at a new welcome desk. And on the back surface there, we've got some vinyl wall covering that's going to have a Sankofa pattern on it. That was a Senegalese pattern that DL kind of brought to our attention, and that's going to be featured on the design of the building. Really excited about that. One of the other things that I want to point out here is you can see that we're really maintaining the great original architecture of Norcell Haywood's building, and we're really excited about that, even though it's going to have all new features. Okay, so from here, we're going to kind of move around. So here we're kind of standing back a little bit in the main reading room, looking back at the main entry door right here. Off to the right, we've got another space for public art, and we all have some ideas about what that public art the theme of that public art might be. It'd be neat to see the history of the library or something like that there. In this little space, we're saving a place where a potential donor wall could go, which I think will be fun. And then coming back over here, you see that new tweens area. You see it's going to have a big glass wall, but it'll be enclosed to give a little bit of acoustical separation for the kids in that area from the main reading room. Okay, so this then is looking back, again, in that main reading room area. You see in the center there, the information desk, which is really in the center of that whole space. And it's going to control, kind of be a control point for everybody. You see all the new lighting. And again, you see that butterfly roof that Norcell Haywood designed that has the clerestory lighting behind it that lets in a lot of beautiful natural light. Coming around to the other side, looking back at the welcome desk at the entrance, and then we've got a checkout area here. And you can better see those big clerestory windows in Norcell's building that are going to let that natural light down in. And we've got a lot of new lighting that's really going to improve the lighting conditions in the building. I'm excited about that. Okay, and from here, okay, so now we're kind of standing right beside the welcome desk on the left, looking back at the main information desk there in the center of the building. We're getting closer to the information desk here in the center, right? Just another view of that, and you can see the Connect stations on either side with all the computers that are going to be available for everyone's use. Kind of again, here we're beyond the information desk, looking back across it towards the African American Resource Center on the other side, with the welcome desk and the checkout area on the left. And again, this is an image where you can really see that great roof of the original building designed by Norcell, which has these great clerestory lights on both sides in this big open reading room, which I think is going to be fantastic. Here we're standing in that African American Resource Center, and you can see that we're going to have a hanging system back here for changing exhibits that they'll be able to display in the African American Resource Center. It's got its own special carpet and it's kind of its own furniture in this area that's going to really distinguish it from the rest of the building so that people will know they're in a special part of the facility. Okay, Here's another view of that. Okay, and so you're looking back at the other side, which also has the art display system on it, where rotating exhibits can be placed. And here, we're right up against that teens room, again, which is enclosed in glass, that you can see right there on the side. Okay, another view from in there, looking back into the main reading room. We're still in the African American Resource Center here. Now we're going to move, we've got one more of these. And again, here you can really see how that display system can start to work, which we think is going to be a nice feature. And we've also got some built-in glass display cabinets there. So three-dimensional objects can also be displayed there. I think that's going to be fun. I think DL was excited about this area. Now we're moving into the teens area. So again, kind of its own special character in that area. And it's got visibility from the main reading room, so everybody can kind of keep an eye on things. But it does give them a little sense of privacy and a little acoustical separation from the rest of the facility. This is looking back out toward the African American Resource Center through that glass wall that we were describing that separates it. Now we're moving up towards the existing meeting room where we've all met before when we've been there. Again, all new AV systems, new lighting. We're going to really have the capability to have all different kinds of presentations in that space with new furniture, and the furniture will be like this, adjustable and on casters, so it can move around and be reconfigured for whatever kind of meeting you're having there. Another view of that space, and you can see we're saving the great quote here from George Washington Carver, kind of relocating it on a prominent wall in that multi-purpose meeting room. Now we're moving around, kind of keep on coming around the space here. We're in the Learn space, which is, again, is going to be great. It's got the pinwheel desks to give everybody a little bit of privacy as they're working on things in that main space. It's got a combination of new ceiling, and then we're extending the look of the existing ceiling from Norcell there, and you can see the kind of fun light fixtures that are really going to give it great illumination in the space there. And then you've got, again, the glass separation wall that will give a little bit of acoustical separation from the main space. Now moving kind of adjacent to that into the children's room, right, and you can see the glass wall over here on the left, and we've got some fun acoustical elements on the walls there that will add a little bit of kind of fun and color to the space, but they'll also help knock the noise down in there, right? They're going to be absorptive so that it'll knock that down. And we're going to put special end caps on the shelving in this particular space as well to really designate it as the children's area. And then this is the other end of that long space, which is going to be dedicated more to tweens, which is, again, is a new feature for the library system that we're excited about, and we're going to work with Kathy to really kind of define that and figure out what that's going to be able to do in there programmatically. This is one last view, and so you can kind of see it's a long space, so with each side sort of being designated to children and tween, and then there are monitors on the wall in between where they can show movies and different kinds of things like that. So we think this is going to be a really great space for both children and tweens. Now we're moving across the lobby into that new community meeting room. And so you can see it's going to be a great light-filled space. That the design idea for this was to keep it consistent with Norcell's original design. So you see the sloping ceiling, and that slope matches exactly the slope on the building of Norcell's original building, and we've got the same sort of clerestory lighting and even more lighting down at the ground level to let lots of great natural light into that space. Again, all movable furniture that can be reconfigured for any number of different kinds of setups. And this space is actually anticipating what we're going to do in the Phase 2 renovation, which we will hopefully start working on immediately after we submit this drawing for pricing and permitting. So that will be part of the next bond package, and we're excited about that as well. Let's see here. Another view kind of looking down toward the presentation end of that big community room. And then from there, just reminding everybody, I know everybody's seen the exterior images, so we've got the great new all-glass lobby with the fritted pattern on the glass that we talked about the last time. That's a baked-on ceramic. Again, that was going to be our Sankofa theme right on there. And what that will do is that will help dapple the sunlight so that it doesn't get too bright inside, too hot. That's exactly right. It will knock that down, and I think it's going to add some interest and excitement to that entry lobby. That lobby is going to be very modern and very, very neat, but it's going to have this beautiful pattern on it that will have a meaning that DL can explain to every person who comes into the library over there, I hope. And I think it's going to be really fun. And you see the new addition of the new community room over here to this side with all of the handicap parking right there front and center, so that it makes it easy for people who have more limited mobility to get right into the library from the parking space there. And then, oops, did we? Oh, there it is. Okay, and one last view backing out just a little bit so you get a sense of the overall with the existing building over here, the new lobby, the new community meeting room on this side. And with that, I think that's pretty much where we are. I'm hoping y'all are as excited about it as we are, and we can get approval for this. I will tell you a couple more bits of what I think are good news. So we're tracking right on time in terms of schedule. This is exactly when we had talked about turning the project in for pricing and for permitting, and we're still right on budget, which I think is great news. So with that, I'll give it back to Kathy and be quiet. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Did anyone have any questions?
I do. In the new community room, what provision is made for darkening the room in case there's video presentations or whatever?
It's going to have roller shades, and the ones that are up high will all be motorized shades. So yeah, it'll be easy to control that. The goal is that when you want to have that natural light, it's there, right? So that it doesn't feel, so cave-like, but you do absolutely have the ability to close that off when you need to show things on the monitors or on the projection screen.
Thank you.
I also had a question. I feel like we had asked this when we first saw just the preliminary plan, but the children's and tweens section, I know there's that door that's leading outside. Does that lead out to that? There's no enclosed space that leads out to, correct? It just leads out towards the playground, or?
Yes.
And then I guess this is probably more of a Kathy question. Are we taking provisions to make sure that door stays locked or monitored because it is attached to where our littles are?
Yes. So that door, similar to Encino and some of our other locations, Schaefer is another example. We'll take some precautions, but we did like that side of the building is facing the playground so that we can have access. So we will be taking, we can make that a push bar door if we want to leave it as an emergency exit, or we can talk about ways to, make it a safe entry point, exit point. So, yeah.
Are there any other questions? And the city councilman's representative has seen the plans. So I'm happy about that. Okay. So this is an action item.
So I move that we approve the final design plan for the Carver Branch Library 2022 bond project.
I'll second that.
Okay, great. May we have a roll call, please, Mr. Edward?
Carla Guglielmo is absent. Josie Martinez is absent. Andrea Sanchez Muniz.
Aye.
Marianne Valdez Hernandez.
Aye.
Fernanda Cardenas. Michelle Dalbas Robledo.
Aye.
Spree Kaur is absent. Marcy Ince is absent. Beth Graham,
Aye.
Judy Cruz is absent. Joanne Harris.
Aye.
Motion passes.
Thank you. Kathy, you have another item. Thank you.
And so our other action item related to the Carver Branch Library project is to ask the board for approval of a closure date so we can actually move forward with the construction. So this will look super familiar. We just went over all this, but this is the Carver Branch Library project. We're talking about the start of phase 1. So this is the renovation of the branch with the 2,600 square foot expansion. And this was also an action item of the Facilities Committee at their last meeting. They did approve the date for moving it forward to the board tonight for consideration. The proposed closure date is August 11th. So the last date of public service at the Carver branch would be Sunday, August 10th, and then we would close the following day. An interim service plan is under development with the intention to be that interim service would start immediately upon the closure of the branch. So these are just kind of the timeline laid out. So June 11th was the Facilities Committee meeting at which they approved the final design and closure recommendation. Today was the briefing to Councilmember McKee Rodriguez's office, as well as your consideration of the items tonight. We do have the 95th anniversary of the Carver Branch Library scheduled for the branch on August 2nd, so that we're excited that that celebration would happen before the branch closes. And then also, as we mentioned, there's a parallel art project for this branch, which will go through all the normal steps of a public art project, starting with consideration by the Facilities Committee and the Board of Locations for the public art. So Jeff had mentioned some possibilities for that, so there'll be a staff recommendation next month on that. And then the Department of Arts and Culture would like to have a community input meeting before the branch closes on August 5th. So we're kind of sneaking in a whole lot of good stuff before we potentially close the branch if the board approves the date tonight. So then that would lead up to August 11th for the closure of the branch with the beginning of interim service. We would then take approximately 4 weeks to do all the pre-construction staging activities. So that's moving everything out, including the technology, properly storing it, setting up the interim service, and launching it by that time, and then construction would begin approximately September 11th. I know there are usually questions about the public communication plan when we're moving towards closing a branch for a big project, so this is kind of a detailed schedule. I know we say overview, but really it's a detailed schedule of the tactics we would take to let the community know. That's one reason we're bringing the closure date to the board so much in advance of the closure date we're proposing, because we like to give lots and lots of notice to the community about the upcoming work that's going to happen. So there would be email, there would be signage on site, notices and patron holds, lots of email blasts, reminder emails. We had great success based on some input from Vice Chair Harris and others to do publications in some of the local newspapers, including the San Antonio Observer. And then we have that key date of the anniversary celebration indicated here, because that obviously would be part of the communication plan too, to get people awareness of that event. We would do a press release and then a reminder email on the actual closure date, then closure signage on site at the branch, and then, of course, we begin the ongoing communications about the project itself and progress. So that is an overview of the communication plan. So again, at the last Facilities Committee meeting, the Facilities Committee did approve the proposed closure date and asked for it to be brought forward for board consideration tonight.
A question. Do you think that we could contact the local churches as well in the surrounding area and see if they would let us put up some kind of like flyer, signage, or a little pamphlet, just to make sure we're reaching everybody who may not, pick up local newspapers or get online?
Absolutely. And there are also, in addition to the community stakeholders, as you mentioned, churches, there are a number of city facilities as well, public-facing city facilities, so absolutely, we can do that.
Yes, would we also be able to include some flyers in the senior centers, especially the District 2 Senior Center that's around there, and the Claude Black Community Center?
Absolutely.
Any other questions or input? Okay, thank you, thank you, thank you. With the action item, I need a motion to approve the closure dates of August the 11th, 2025 for the Carver Branch Library 2022 bond project.
I'd like to motion to approve the closure date of August 11th, 2025 for the Carver Branch Library for the 2022 bond project.
I'll second.
Okay, thank you. Okay, Edward, could we have a roll call, please?
Orla Gugiolo is absent. Josie Martinez is absent. Andrea Sanchez Muniz.
Aye.
Marianne Valdez Hernandez.
Aye.
Fernanda Cardenas.
Aye.
Michelle Dalbas Robledo.
Aye.
Jasprit Kaur is absent. Marcy Inks is absent. Beth Graham. Judy Cruz is absent. Joanne Harris.
Aye.
Motion passes.
Thank you. The motion passes, and thank you all so much for the staff and the architect. Thank you so much, because that was a lot of work and a lot of meetings and meetings and meetings. Thank you very much. Okay. The next item, if we have no other comments, I need a motion to adjourn.
So move.
Thank you.
Second.
We have adjourned. Thank you.